Boom. I don't know why my bot's over a 56K connection. Can you hear it? Here it comes. This just in over the bot wires. The bot wants to know, DrBotBud wants to know, if someone offered to tell you your future, would you accept it? That's a good question. If someone could tell you your future, would you accept it? I want to think about my future as being like the surface of a pond. And as you throw rocks into the pond, those ripples change potential outcomes. So I could kind of steer towards it. You know, it's like, oh, this is the path. Or this would be the warning sign for me to try to change it. Now, if the future is immutable, which sounds super like dreadful to me, right? I wouldn't want to know, you know? And there's a lot of pressure that goes with that, right? And just because you know, are you making choices because you think that's going to get you there? Doesn't make a difference if it doesn't. Doesn't matter, whatever, because that's, you know, like these are the interesting conversations, right? Brad says, well, is it all or none? Because I would 100% say no if it's that it was that way. Yeah, I hear you there. Oven says, well, why not? If it's free, then maybe I can alter it. Can we alter it? If not, don't bother telling it to me since I can't change it anyway. Yeah, okay, see? Nice, you said that's hard to decide on, especially when you have things that you are stuck on. Yeah. Raz says to Evan, if you were told your future, wouldn't that be the future that you created or altered because they knew you would alter it? Yeah. It's basically, it's the, you know, it's time continuum paradox, right? I think there's probable outcomes, right? But I don't think they're like predestined, right? Now, if we have a director or an AI or something that's affecting our simulation, whatever that may be, it could be God, right? It could be that, you know, there are a multitude of possibilities, you know, and there are just big beats, and then what happens from the beats then creates, you know, different variations. And then if, you know, there's plenty we can go into that. So, the time paradox. Well, my dear friends, yeah, Reno K says, if I knew my future, I then am guilty of robbing myself. Dreams will dock and anchor. Wonder will be a fantasy that I would never experience. I would be abandoned by hope and introduced to a much denser and colder destiny. Holy shit. Wow. Wow. If I knew my future, I then am guilty of robbing myself. Dreams will dock and anchor. Wonder will be a fantasy that I would never experience. I would be abandoned by hope and introduced to a much denser and colder destiny. Yeah. Dude, love it. Love it. I love it. 3, okay, that was good. That was some of the best stuff you've written so far. Dude, thank you. Raz says to Oven, Laughing Jess, I see those hearts. Says to Oven, even if it was the first time, if this guy could tell you your future, wouldn't it make sense that he saw that you would be learning what the future was going to be and that you changed it? Time is a funny thing. It depends on the rules of clairvoyance, right? If you know the future, do you know the future with certainty? Is it like you open a window and you're like looking at reality in this point in time? And then as you observe this reality, then, and if the person's making choices, does that reality then change, right? Could you actually sit together with this person, right? With this fortune teller, right? And if it's something like that, and just by sitting with the fortune teller, if you go through and you think about things you want to do and don't do, and you commit to those wholly, and if the person looking through the window could essentially see the changes in real time to the end game, could they not help you craft a different future? Like the event is meaningless in that case. The events would be changing. You're like, I want to get married to this person, and you know, or I don't want to get married to this person. You know, and there are, you know, like these ripples, right? And then they could tell you back in real time, like how things are changing. So they're actually helping sculpt a better world. And, you know, and then again, what if you're like one of those pivotal people where like you decide that you never want to take up medicine, or like, you know, like you've got an aptitude for medicine and scientific research, and then you decide that you get drafted into the military for your science brain, and then it turns out you make one of the most insane like gene therapies known to mankind that actually evolves and changes the essence of humanity. Like you actually, the fortune teller looking at you can tell you that you're barely human anymore after this gene therapy, and that it ushered in an era of like basically, you know, humans that have evolved beyond their normal humanity. And then that creates a crazy like rift within society between those and those that don't. And it turns out this gene therapy also helps you like survive now for 1,000 years. Like that's just your normal life expectancy. So one of you is 10 times any other human being. And then, you know, what if you meet that? What kind of responsibility would that be? Whoa. There's stuff floating around my brain.